There comes a moment in every person's life when they must choose peace over people, not because they hate them, but because they finally love themselves enough to walk away from what's draining their soul. The Stoics were never ones to waste energy on those who pulled them away from their principles. For them, detachment from negativity was not selfishness, it was self-respect. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The tranquility that comes when you stop caring what they say or do, only what you do." That's the essence of the Stoic response to toxic people. You don't need to shout. You don't need to explain. You simply stop letting their chaos disturb your clarity. It's not about confrontation. It's about elevation. You rise so far above the drama that it no longer has access to you. But cutting off negative people isn't always obvious. They don't always come with warning signs. Sometimes they wear the mask of concern, but subtly manipulate you. Sometimes they call it love, but it's coated in control. This is where Stoic awareness becomes your armor. You learn to see not just what they say, but what they do repeatedly. You spot the pattern. You trust your peace. In this video, you'll learn the Stoic way to identify, distance from, and emotionally outgrow the people who quietly sabotage your growth. Not through anger, not through revenge, but through power, the quiet power of self-control and detachment. Because peace isn't found by changing others, it's found by refusing to let them change you. When you walk the Stoic path, you begin to understand that your energy is sacred. Not everyone deserves access to it, no matter how long they've been in your life. Seneca warned us about this clearly. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you are capable of improving. That's not just advice, it's a boundary, a standard. Negative people thrive on emotional access. They want a reaction. They feed off your attention. They use guilt to stay close and confusion to keep control. But Stoicism doesn't respond with panic. It responds with clarity. The moment you see through the illusion, the spell is broken. You no longer dance to their emotional rhythms. You begin to move to your own internal compass, unshaken, focused, and free. Distance doesn't mean hatred. It means you've matured. You've stopped needing validation from those who never respected your value. And instead of proving yourself to them, you now protect your peace from them. The Stoics would say, don't tie your happiness to another man's chaos. It's not always easy. Cutting ties, especially with people who once meant everything to you, can feel like tearing out a piece of yourself. But here's what the Stoics remind us. That piece you're tearing away was never truly yours. It was the illusion, the version of you that tolerated disrespect, stayed quiet in discomfort, and made space for people who never made space for you. The real you, the unshakable, powerful, grounded you, is waiting on the other side of that decision. Now here's where most people hesitate. They fear being alone more than they fear being drained. They fear silence more than disrespect. But Stoicism teaches us this. Solitude is not emptiness. It is power. When you remove toxic noise, you allow clarity to speak. And in that clarity, you rediscover your values, your mission, and your worth. But listen carefully. The hardest part isn't identifying toxic people, it's acting on it. And that's where you come in. You've already taken the first step by seeking this message. Now it's time for the next one. If you're finding strength in these words, if a part of you is awakening to the reality that you deserve better, then don't let this be the last time we connect. Subscribe right now, because this channel is built for warriors like you, those on the path of transformation, of truth, and of unbreakable self-respect. Join this community of Stoic minds, people who don't just read quotes, they live them, who don't just talk about standards, they enforce them. Tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because the next episode might just give you the courage to make the cut you've been avoiding. You are not alone on this path, but you have to take the next step. Once you've made the decision to cut off negativity, the real work begins, not on them, but on yourself. The Stoics believed that after removal comes refinement. You've cleared the noise, now it's time to sharpen your inner world. Ask yourself, what thoughts will I allow? What energy will I protect? What principles will I never betray again? Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." So paint your mind with purpose. Fill it with discipline, clarity, and self-respect. Don't just eliminate what drains you, replace it with what strengthens you. This is the Stoic path, not just removal, but renewal. And understand this, setting boundaries doesn't make you cold. It makes you clear. It's not about hate, it's about alignment. You are no longer available for drama, manipulation, or games. You are available for peace, for purpose, for a life of depth and strength. And in this silence, without the wrong people clouding your vision, something incredible happens. Your true self begins to rise. Calm, focused, relentless, unshakable. That is your natural state. You just forgot it for a while. Now that you've made space, true, sacred space for yourself, the question becomes, who will you become without the weight of other people's negativity? Seneca taught that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality, and often that imagined suffering comes from trying to hold on to people we were meant to let go of. Embrace the solitude that follows. It isn't emptiness, it's room to grow, room to breathe. Room to build the version of yourself that never has to compromise just to keep someone else comfortable. With distance comes clarity, and with clarity comes power. Not control over others, but complete control over yourself, your choices, your reactions, your peace. High-value men and women understand this. It's not who you keep that defines you. It's who you're willing to release. When you can walk away from what no longer serves you, calmly, confidently, without drama, you don't lose anything. You gain everything. So, as you sit with this silence, I'll leave you with one final question. Are you building a life that would make your future self proud? Or are you just keeping the peace with people who would never do the same for you?